trying to keep it on channel 22.
Yep.
Okay, I got volume all the way up. Go ahead and say something.
Can you hear me?
Hollywood.
You can't talk at the same time as me. So we're doing this test in order to show others that may be in the same predicament as us, where cell phone signal is kind of spotty and you don't have very many good communication alternatives. These Midland radios have been really good, especially within a 5-mile radius of our house, even up to 10 miles, depending on how much the elevation changes. So we're going to go through that in this video, and we're getting right into it right now. A few weeks ago, you've seen that we installed these Midland MXT500 radios. We really like the idea of having them in our equipment for safety reasons, especially when we're loading hay onto trailers or unloading hay on trailers. There's a lot of communication that really is helpful in that situation. And then, of course, you know, just being able to reach out and say, hey, you know, I need this, and have somebody bring you maybe a tool. Looking at this topographical map of the United States, it appears that Missouri is pretty flat. However, as we zoom in and show the features of the state of Missouri, you can see that there are substantial elevation changes that happen within south central Missouri. This makes radio communication and cell phone communication very difficult. We are going to show how the elevation changes make a huge impact on communications in this video. Where we live in south central Missouri, we have a lot of hills and draws, and unfortunately, the cell phone signal is just not very good. We're hoping that these are going to fill that gap. We have tried the normal antenna, and we also tried the 3 dB antenna. Very little luck on them. They will reach, you know, a couple miles, but they don't reach as far as we'd like. So right now my wife is driving home from work, and on her way home from work, she is going to attempt to reach me on the radio. This is how we're doing our range check, basically. The reason we're doing it this way is because I'm going to put an overlay of a topographical map. So it's going to show you the elevation changes that she's going through, and hopefully that will help us out in kind of explaining where we're at on the whole, you know, hills and terrain playing a factor in our communications. These radios are 50 watt, and they have an advertised range of 75 miles in line of sight. And that's probably true, because they did very well, especially in anywhere we can see line of sight. And I mean, we can look around right now and you can see that by our house it's pretty open. You can also see in the distance that the hills go up from our house, but we're not in the lowest area nearby. We are still in pretty tall ground. Can you hear me? Chrissy, can you hear me? Where are you at? Where?
I just passed Chapel.
Okay. I think it's important to show that, because these radios do have incredible capabilities. They can reach a long ways, and even in the immediate area to our house within 5 miles, very clear communication whether we're in the bottom of a hill or in a bottom or on the top of a hill. And most of our farming operations do happen within that 5 to 10 mile radius of home. But we want to be able to see how far we can reach to show others who maybe you have a larger operation and are reaching out farther. So that's why we're doing the test in the manner that we're doing it.
Yep, at the 4-way stop.
Okay.
Passing the airport now.
Okay, I can hear you clearly there. That's pretty good.
Awesome.
Wow, I can still hear you clearly. I'm guessing you hear me clearly too. Where you at? Okay. That's near Bloodwood.
Near what?
Are you near Bloodwood Lake then?
road takes me.
Where are you at?
Have you had any good airplane jokes lately?
No.
It's not why we don't hear that anyway.
That wasn't that good.
What?
That wasn't that good. I can almost hear you.
There's a lot of trees.
You're where?
By a lot of trees.
I'm guessing you just came out the gate.
I'm in Purple Heart County according to the sign.
So you're in Texas County.
Well, that sign said Purple Heart County.
So you're in Texas County.
Yep.
I am almost to Evening Shade Store.
Got it.
I don't know if you could hear that, but I could hear that on this walkie-talkie. We got these as well because there's some stuff like the skid steer and the side-by-side that I don't want to mount a radio in it because sometimes they do get left out in the weather. Not often, it is pretty rare, but I would hate to spend a lot of money on a radio and destroy it because I left it outside or because I got caught in a storm, whatever the case may be. So I brought this in here so you can hear both. So I'm actually going to turn it down.
Past Evening Shade.
All right, so I can hear her on the radio clearly. Oops.
Ow!
Sorry, I have the little walkie-talkie in here with me too.
Oh, cool.
So I'll have to turn this off to talk, I guess.
I can hear you clearly actually on the walkie-talkie whenever you were at Evening Shade earlier. Not passing it, but when you were at it.
Awesome.
So it's hit and miss with this.
That's the stuff thing.
On 17.
Just turning on 17.
Super broken up.
Should be clearing up here in just a second when we pass this road.
You couldn't hear me on the walkie-talkie then?
Just now past this lap town.
Gotcha. Can you hear me on the walkie-talkie?
Yes.
Where are you at now?
Roby Tower.
All right. I'm guessing you can still hear me clearly then?
Yes. Roby Lake.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. And I am just now going by the handlebars.
Is it clear on the walkie-talkie? Is it clearer now?
Definitely clearer now. And less annoying because every time we use the walkie-talkie, it goes beep. Beep.
Yeah, that's because I'm using the MXT500.
They're setting up for the car show.
Yeah, I'm dropping our car off in the morning.
No, I figured you'd do it tonight.
I'm leaving my car unattended.
I was being smart out in school. Hi. Hey, going, Mom? Driving home from work. Testing out stuff for Daddy-O, because he's Mr. Hollywood. Yeah, what?
Very possible.
Stop hitting the button. Because we're actually doing a video.
Okay. Hi. The low water crossings.
Okay.
The low water crossing is obviously the lowest point on this
And the
road.
horse is over here. Say hi.
Don't bring them home.
But they look like they might need more grass.
They don't. So the low water crossing is the lowest point on this road, obviously. We'll look on the map to see what the height difference is, but it's a pretty good amount.
No, actually, the horses look good compared to our fatties.
Just wanted to recap. Note that our tractor is 1,407 feet above sea level at our farm. And we're first able to make communication with the wife at 18.22 miles away, but almost 300 feet difference in elevation. Also understand that post has a lot of electronic interference from Wi-Fi and power lines and everything else. So as she's getting closer to the farm, she's not only getting farther away from that, but she's also going up in elevation, making it to where the two radios are almost on the same height. That helps tremendously. And it gets to a point where at 6.4 miles away or 6.44 miles away, we're able to make communication with the handheld radio to the MXT500 in the truck that she's in. Now, the handheld still is choppy until about 4 to 5 miles away, and then it's a clear communication, constantly being able to talk. And again, the handhelds are really only for us moving livestock. Either way, the radios are tremendous. It's still places that we would not have cell phone signal. We wouldn't be able to talk on the cell phones on our way home, especially once she leaves post. So excellent job, Midland. Really thankful for the radios and thankful to be able to work with you all on this. If you all have any questions, please put them down below in the comments. Other than that, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it helpful, and we hope to see you again next time. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a blessed week, and we will hopefully see you next time. Thank you. Got my truck all dusty.
Well, about your truck.
Why don't you go bad mouthing my truck?
There may have been an incident.
I'm sure you blew black smoke somewhere.
That kind of incident.
Huh?
Barking incident.
What'd you hit?
I think you about it as someone witnessed it.
It'd been funnier if the airbag went off.
I just gave it a little tappy tap.
Alright.